Hello anglers, in today's video we're going to check out the Nocqua 10 amp hour lithium ion battery. Now I've had this battery in a couple other videos where I was pointing out voltage range difference between this battery and some of our modern day fish finders, and Nocqua seen one of those videos and said, hey, we'd like to send you another battery and we got something to fix that problem with the voltage range. So what they came out with is a voltage regulator, and what this guy does is it maintains a steady 12.8 volts throughout the whole discharge curve of the battery. Full disclosure guys, they did send me this battery and this regulator for free. However, this is all about my experience with it, my thoughts, and in no way do we have any agreement that I'll say only good stuff about it. It's not going to be a commercial for them. There's pros and cons to this battery, stuff I like, stuff I don't like about it. So I'm going to cover all of it right now. First off, let's look at the discharge curve. So what this is I discharge this battery, basically simulating a Helix 5 or Helix 7, discharge it at 0.8 amps and just let it run, and you can see kind of a gradual slope here. This is kind of what we come to expect with the lithium ion. Now the Helix, this mark right here, this is what I call the Helix factor, and what this is the bottom of the operating voltage for a Helix fish finder, which is 10.8 volts. So right here we can see 10.8 volts set 5.76 amp hours. So you have the 10 amp hour lithium ion battery, 11.1 nominal voltage, and once you get to 10.8 volts you're able to use 5.76 amp hours out of that battery before you get to that point, I should say. And then this battery continues to fall off and the low voltage protection circuit trips at 8.36. Should also point out that between a full charge and this Helix factor mark, the 10.8 mark, it's 7.2 hours of run time, so just about a full day on the water. Hey, if you guys are new around here, do me a favor, consider subscribing. I'm an electronics technician. I'm taking a bunch of batteries, fish finder batteries, and run them through the paces, test them, tear apart. So I'm not going to tear this one apart today, but I've got a whole lot of videos where I do tear them apart, so consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that like button too. Appreciate it, guys. Alright, let's take a peek at the test with the voltage regulator. Now look at the difference there. Totally flat. Constant 12.8 volts all the way through. Now it did cut out. It's a 10 amp hour battery and did cut out, what's this, 8.6 amp hours, but that's to be expected when you're using a voltage regulator, and the reason being is that's basically Ohm's law. You're going to be drawing more amps between the battery and the voltage regulator to convert into 12.8 volts. So you're going to lose a little bit of capacity there. I'm not going to beat up on them too much about that, especially because there's so many other benefits, so many other good things about this battery. So let's talk about the pros and cons of this battery, and there's kind of a lot here. What I like about it, well, for one, it's its size. It's a very small package. Let's compare it to a Amped Outdoors. Now this is a lithium iron phosphate, different chemistry, but size comparison, it's about half the size. Weight wise, let's see, amped 12 amp hours, 2 pounds 12.2 ounces, and the Nocqua 10 amp hour, 1 pound 8.2 ounces. A little bit of a difference there, to be expected. Lithium ion tends to be a little bit lighter than their lithium iron phosphate counterpart. Another thing I really like about this battery is especially kayakers. You know, this company markets to kayakers, and they don't bill this battery as waterproof, probably for liability reasons, but they say it's water resistant, but I'd say this is probably the most water resistant battery it could be, without saying it's waterproof. It's got some goop around here, around the sleeve. Just seems like a very sturdy pack. I think you could probably use and abuse this pretty good and not have to worry about it. Okay, the wiring connections here. So if you don't know anything about electronics, if you don't know anything about wiring, these are dummy proof. So this is your charger. You have 2 arrows on here. Now you're charging. Take it off charger, hook it up to your kayak. You do have to splice this end on the kayak, red to red, black to black. And when I say kayak, I mean your fish finder. Same thing. Arrow to arrow. Screw her down. Now these connections are waterproof. They have a waterproof gasket right here. If this sits in your hull, get some water, it's sitting in a little bit of water, I wouldn't even worry about it. Would not even worry about it at all. Of course, drain your water, but I don't think it's going to stop you from fishing that day if you get some water in there. Then they send you the waterproof splices. Basically just crimp them to your fish finder, put some heat on them, they're going to shrink up, they're going to be waterproof. Basically, this, if you look at their website, they have a ton of accessories. They did send me a Y cable, and what this does is you can take 2 of these 10 amp hour batteries, hook them together, and you'll have a 20 amp hour pack. Just like, hook it up there. And hook it up there. Now 20 amp hours, they're both connected. Before you do this though, before you connect 2 packs up together, these should be the same amp hour rating. Make sure you fully charge both of them. You don't want one being dead and then plugging in the full charged one in there, and BMS probably wouldn't like that too much. Fully charge them, then connect them. Speaking of charging, don't charge with your regulator on there either. Let's say you want to charge these up at the end of the day, take your regulator off, hook your charger up to it. When you're ready to go fishing, hook your regulator back up, hook it up to your fish finder, go fishing. So like I said, lots of accessories on their website. Very, very beginner friendly. And that's kind of why I maybe changed my mind about this. Just because if you're a guy that just wants to get a lithium battery, you don't know anything about wiring, man, it really doesn't get any simpler than this. Do me a favor, guys. Down in the comments, I want to know what kayak you're running, and what fish finders you are running. Let me know what kind of battery you're running too, just out of curiosity. I myself, I've got a native Titan 13.5 foot, and I run a live scope this year. So let's talk about the BMS. So the first thing I see on the listing here is short circuit protection. So if you've ever watched these videos, you know that we do that every time. So let's go hop over there onto the workbench and get her tested up. Here we go. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to hook our power up, or pigtail, so this is an amp meter. What we're going to do is we're going to hook this jumper up to one side. We're going to go through the amp meter. There we go. We have no current going through here. It's not hot at all. So what that tells us is that BMS does have short circuit protection, which is very, very good in my book. Now, just to verify that the BMS did reset, we're going to make sure we have power. And there's 12 volts. So good to go there, guys. Great news, short circuit protection checked out in this guy. Next up, low voltage protection. And we already kind of seen that on the graph here, because it cut out at 8.3 volts. So we know that works. That pretty much covers all the pros I have for this battery. Let's talk about the cons. Let's talk about some of the stuff I don't really like. So compared to their lithium iron phosphate counterparts, they have like a Nocqua Lithium or Amped Outdoors, those type of batteries. Those have about a 10-year lifespan and a 2,000 charge discharge cycle. You know, this guy right here, it's going to last you about 2 or 3 years, and then you will see a significant decrease in performance and capacity in these batteries. Another thing, the regulator, you know, it doesn't come with the battery. You actually have to purchase this regulator. So right here, according to the website, you have to purchase this regulator for 40 bucks, which is a little steep in my opinion, but it might be worth it if you already have one of these, or if you want to get a Y cable, double the capacity. It might be worth it. I'm definitely a fan of this regulator. And honestly, there's some ice fishing battery companies out there that could probably ought to look into something like this, because yeah, this would go a long way, I think, in the ice fishing community. Another issue I see, it's not really an issue, it's just more of an annoyance that I see when using this voltage regulator, is it'd be hard to determine your state of charge. Let's say you own one of these Nocquas, you know, fully charged, you're 12.5 volts or so, and towards, you know, over here, when you get under 10 volts or even 10.5 volts, you know you're on your way out with this battery. You know you're going to need to charge it soon, and you're going to be done fishing with a fish finder here, and not too much longer. Where with the voltage regulator, you really don't have that indication, that sign of, you know, how much time you have left, because it's all 12.8 volts. So my test took 10.8 hours. You could just count it down, keep track of your time when using the voltage regulator, and yeah, I'd just keep about 10.5 hours just to be on the safe side. You got 10.5 hours fishing time with that fish finder at a 0.8 draw, so Helix 5, Helix 7. Another one on the cons list is the one that I bought a couple years ago. The capacity was not there. It failed my test right off the bat. Could have just been a dud, but this is an honest review, so I'm not hiding anything. I did have one, possibly a dud. So let's talk about cost here. So we are covered the voltage regulators, 40 bucks. If you wanted this kit, they're on Amazon for 130, and you get the charger and the pigtail and everything you need to get fishing. They also have the 20 amp hour pack. Almost looks exactly the same, just a little bit bigger pack, more capacity. If you already own a pack, you can just get the Y cable, hook up buy another 10 amp hour, hook it up, and you have a 20 amp hour pack. So I will leave links down in the description. But as far as this battery goes, guys, I'm going to recommend this battery. The brand new angler that wants to get into kayak fishing, that doesn't mind spending a little bit of money on a lithium battery, that's very, very user friendly. Gonna last you 2 to 3 years. You take care of your battery, you charge it, store it like the instructions say. It's gonna take care of you. If you're looking to go run live scope, you know, you could probably use this for a little while. I would recommend the 20 amp hour variety for live scope or Panoptics or any of those high draw fish finders. But if you're casual kayak angler, I think this pack would probably be ideal for you. Yeah, save a lot of space. You're not gonna have to worry about getting it wet. You're not gonna have to worry about wired up wrong, other than the pigtail, red to red, black to black. Simple as that. Make sure your fuse, your fish finder fuse, hook that up right here You always want to fuse your stuff. If you want to see another battery I recommend for kayakers, check out this video right here. If you want to see a disaster of a battery I do not recommend for kayakers, click this one. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.